Welcome to another edition of General Driving. I've had a lot of demand for general driving again, so I'm going to continue with that. So what we're doing today is we're going to do some roundabouts, Plousdale roundabout to be exact, from a different angle, and we're going to head up through Logs Hill going down towards Mottingham. It's a very tight, almost like a country lane, spiraling downhill, and I'm going to show you how to deal with it. Off we go. So we're just in Shortlands at the moment, coming up to what you see on the left hand side is just the blue sign. It's the bus times. It is now 1:35 in the afternoon. It's not in operation, we can use it. And if you don't use it, again, I'm sure I've repeated this many times, if you don't use the bus lane when you're allowed to use it, you can fail your test, or probably will fail your test. And here you just want to make sure you don't get stuck in the yellow box junction under the bridge. On roads like this, you do get a lot of people coming down in the right hand lane. You see the right hand lanes for turning right only, and they tend to cut in. If that does happen, which happens a lot, just let them in. It doesn't matter. It makes no odds to you. So we're going to keep going forward slowly, make sure it's safe to go across. Yes, it is. If you look under the bridge, you can see the cars are moving, so we won't be stuck in that yellow box. So from now I'm checking the zebra crossing just to see if there's anyone near it. There isn't anyone near it, so you don't need to change your speed until you see that there's someone near it. If there's someone near it, then you can just let go of the gas and slow down a little bit. Don't react to what you think might happen. So they have to be crossing before you have to stop. So them being next to it, facing away from it, is not enough for you to have to stop. They have to be facing the crossing. So we're going uphill now. We need a little bit more gas than normal, otherwise we won't be getting up that hill. I'm looking up and round, and I can see the lights are red at the moment. I couldn't see that through the actual lights. I saw it in the reflection of the green lorry as he turned the bend. As he went round that bend, I saw the red light in his bodywork, and that's how I knew the red lights were red. As you can see, we've got a filter light. The filter light's the green arrow pointing in the direction we're going, which is left. You can indicate, you don't have to, because it's the only place you can go. You can indicate. I advise to indicate because the pedestrians might not know that you can only turn right there. Sorry, left, sorry. And we're turning right here. So when you're turning right, you keep the right lane, but once you've gone around this corner, you must get over to the left hand side. So if we take it quite wide, not too wide, quite wide, see, we're in the left hand lane straight away. That's the lane to drive in. If you end up in the wrong lane, which is the right hand lane, move back to the left hand lane as soon as possible, checking your mirror, signaling, make sure it's safe. Don't just throw it in. And don't panic if you get it wrong, but you should be planning the road well ahead so you don't have to get it wrong. So we're going left at the lights. This brings you down to the Sundridge Park, Plousdale roundabout. Which is a Bromley test route. Like I said though, test routes don't really matter. I'm just showing you how to do a roundabout, basically. This roundabout has got lanes where most roundabouts don't. When a roundabout's got lanes, you don't actually have to indicate if it's obvious where you're going. Don't go and say, oh, my driving instructor or the driving instructor on his video said you don't have to indicate. If it's obvious where you're going, you do not have to indicate. But you can indicate. So we're looking at, what I'm looking at now is the bus stops. So I can see he's about to slow down. There he goes with his light. So I'm going to go around him, checking my right mirror and moving it out. Don't actually have to indicate. You can, but you don't have to. Moving it back in. Okay, here's the roundabout. We're going to go right, third exit at the roundabout. So I'm slowing down, having a look to my right hand side. I can see it's clear. Get straight into the right hand lane, and this is why you don't have to indicate. See, he's going first exit. I'm in the right hand lane. That's second exit where you can see the car going down the hill. And as I pass this one, I can just move over to my left lane, not going in the giveaway line for the road. And I don't have to indicate because I'm in the correct lane to go third exit. Do you see how that works? You can indicate, but then you'd have to cancel it straight away because there was a road just before you came off the exit. Remember to keep that 2-second gap in the dry. He's going to be turning, so we're going to slow down just in case they don't make that turn. There could be anything there. See, he took his time. And then we get back on the gas again. Straight at the roundabout. As you can see, there's a bit of traffic on the other side of the roundabout. If I go now, I'll be blocking the roundabout, so I'm gonna have a look, make sure it's safe. They're moving now, so I can go. Okay. See, if I pulled out at the time I was able to go, then I would have been blocking the roundabout, which you don't want to do. It's a bit tight here, as you can see. You just slow right down and just crawl through. Crawl through and then build up your speed slowly. The idea is to not look left and right, just to keep looking where you want to go. So keep your eye on your road, the road you want to go, the gap. So now we have to be over the line slightly on the other side of the road, but not excessively, just slightly. Going down a hill, so you might want to ease off the gas a little. Car up to a set of lights. You can see the lights have just turned green, but they can turn quite quickly. Sometimes they do. But we're going left at these lights. There's 2 lanes that go left. I'm going to keep the right lane because it is a bit narrow. I'm going to indicate left, and then it merges into 1 lane as you go around a corner. Okay. So we're going to go left at the roundabout. Not far from that windy road I was telling you about. Just make sure nothing's coming from the right. As soon as you turn on this road now, there's parked cars on our left, and we have to give priority to oncoming traffic because the obstruction's on our side. Here I'm going to use an indicator because it's not obvious what I'm doing. When I say it's not obvious to the vehicles coming, not the vehicles behind. And then I can move straight back to my side of the road. You don't need an indicator to move back in. I'm guessing that's pretty obvious what you're doing. it doesn't look it, but this is actually a 30 zone. You slow it down slightly for the bend. And the examiner will say to you, take the second road on your left, Logs Hill. With this, you don't indicate straight away because there's two roads and they're very close to each other. So we can start the slowing down process though, and the checking our mirrors process, and then we can indicate quite late. So for example, like now, and then we turn onto our road, Logs Hill. And again, this is still a 30 because it hasn't said anything. But it does get quite tight down here, so just take your time. And if you feel like it's a bit too tight and it's a bit too fast for you because you're about to go down a steep hill and it's quite windy, then just take your time. I would recommend not being on the gas. So I'd recommend using the brake, but not fully, just slightly, and just play with it, but not too hard, just softly. Just play with it, avoiding the curb and getting too close to the white line. But if you're going to favour something, favour the white line and not the curb, because if you touch that curb, you're going to not only damage your car, but you're going to fail your test as well. And I keep saying fail, I don't really mean to be negative, but that's exactly what would happen. So this is the road I was telling you about. It's quite windy, narrow, and you can see I'm not going too fast, because if I do, then it could get into a sticky situation for me, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take it easy. We're coming down the hill now, coming up to the roundabout where we're going to continue the road ahead, and this car's not indicating, so I'm going to carry on. And there we go. That sign there means 20 on the bend, which is why it's attached to the bend, the double bend sign. So we do 20 on the bend, and after we go under the bridge it becomes 30 again. It won't tell you it becomes 30 because this road is a 30. It just said 20 on the bend, that's all. These signs tell you there's a sharp bend coming up to the right, and here is now 30 because the bends are done. Okay, so we're going to slow it down here because it don't look like he's going to slow down for us, even though he should because we're going uphill. But you know, doesn't matter what people do, it's about how you deal with it, right or wrong. It's about how you deal with it. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification for updates on my videos. Thank you very much.